place to promote the growth of Tigres in English through analysis, discussions, interviews, and more. Welcome to the La U Times Podcast.
And we're back. Hello once again, everybody. This is another post-game show edition of the La U Times Podcast. I'm Dennis. I'm the producer and currently the starter. But I ain't the closer because the rest of the crew will be coming on periodically. But I am happy to be joined by Lou to start things off. How are you, my friend?
What's up, Dennis? How you doing, man? Just trying to wake up from this sleepy second half.
And sleepy second half it was. Pachuca 0, Tigres 0 on this Tuesday night in the second to last game of the league season. There's one more game left in the regular season, and that's Saturday against Pumas. I'm sure we'll talk about that towards the end, but that was the game tonight, the game that we all just watched, and a game that honestly kind of wish I had all the time back because that was a snooze fest of a game. As you just mentioned, especially the second half. The first half, there were some moments here and there that were pretty solid, but not a lot of great stuff. I don't know how much you were deep into the stats tonight, but I'm sure the stats were pretty telling that it was a boring game.
Yeah, the stats were showing that really we should have won this game. Our XG was above 1, which tells me we should have scored. And we had that one chance, that cross into the box that the Pachuca goalkeeper missed. And Joaquim just right in front of goal, wide open, nobody in front of him, completely missed it. I mean, it's probably the easiest chance he'll have all season. And he missed it. So we really should have been ahead going into the half, and then the team just sort of broke apart in the second half. I was a little disappointed that we didn't have more possession for a team that's been kind of averaging in the high 50s. I thought splitting with Pachuca was a little bit of a disappointment.
Yeah, I agree. Well, let's talk about the lineup here in a second, but before I get anywhere else, thanks to everybody who's already tuning in. Already got a few viewers on here. If you're watching with us right now live on YouTube and Twitter, thanks for being here. And come hang out in the chat. Let us know what you think about tonight's game, about how boring it was, or maybe you see some things that maybe we don't. Come hang out and let us know your thoughts. And if you're listening on audio later, let us know your thoughts after. Okay, so tonight was all about not losing too much ground in the standings, and also about getting youth minutes. And that will be the last thing I will say as the quote-unquote host, because our actual host is here, and I would rather him do the honors of carrying the show. So everybody...
No, you got it. You got it.
No.
I'm a spectator today.
All right. Sure. I see your hat. I see you got the new City Threads.
No, this is last year's, but it's baseball season as well. So you got to keep up with it.
I've never seen that one before. It looks cool though. Looks similar to last year's or to this year's. Anyways, okay. Well, I guess I'll keep yapping. But yeah, tonight was all about not losing too much ground and about getting youth minutes. We got the youth minutes part pretty much out of the way now. I know we were just talking about it in our big group thread that we still have a little bit left, but I'm sure we'll get that on Saturday. But the lineup was Purata, Romulo, Joaquim with Angulo and Loroña. As the defense, Para, Bruneta, Flores, Gorriaran, and Nico Ibanez. And the subs that came on later in the game were Cordova, Ociel, Jesus Garza, and JP Vigod. Thoughts on, I don't know, I don't care who starts. Thoughts on that lineup when you saw it at 7 o'clock this evening?
Go ahead, Lou.
I like the lineup. That backline to me is the backline we should be using when we face teams like America that have really dynamic wingers that can really hurt us. It's just an added bonus having Angulo in there to kind of help out the defense. My main concern right now with the back line is the mistakes that we're making when playing out the back. or playing even easy passes towards the goalkeeper. We're missing a ton of them, and we've seen it from everybody. Buratas has made some really terrible passes to the goalkeeper. Joaquim's made a ton of them, and now Zwarg is kind of catching that bug too. So I'm a little bit concerned, especially in the big matches, that we're going to continue making those kind of mistakes. But the one positive for me tonight was Parra. I thought he was very dynamic, and he makes me feel like when Carioca hangs the boots, I think we're going to be okay at that position.
I don't know though. What do you think?
Yeah, my only concern is Chuy Garza. It seems that it's a trend every season now that Chuy Garza finds a way into the starting lineup or gets some, important minutes. And you thought really this season with Paunovic at the beginning of the season, even going back to last season, he was gonna, find his way into being a consolidated starter for us. And I know he had some personal issues, like his grandma passing away recently, and I know that definitely takes a toll emotionally on a player. I'm hoping that that's the only reason that could be, he could not be getting minutes. But other than that, I think it's a little concerning for me that he's not, even with Aquino, getting the rest tonight, that he's not the starting right back at his natural position, especially on a wing back position when we know how he can contribute on the attacking side, and most importantly on his natural side. So other than that, I think that was the only surprising element for me. We talked about the minutes, like you mentioned, to start off the show. It's something that we were looking for. Lou, I am waiting and have been waiting for Marcelo Flores to, keep up with what, the belief that you have in him from probably about 8 to 9 games ago. It seems like he doesn't take advantage of his opportunities. And in that first half, when Tigres, I thought, had the better half, even though I think overall it was a great game, even with the 0-0 tie. That was probably one of the 0-0 ties that I've enjoyed the most in a while from our club. But in the first half, I thought that they were better than the second, and he still didn't find much rhythm besides one or two plays, and more specifically the play where Parra sets up Nando Borreran.
Yeah, just too many issues with him. I said it a few pods back. I said I was just going on a hunch with Flores, and it looks like I'm going to be completely wrong on him. I just don't see him doing it at this point. I've kind of lost faith in him. I was hoping that the change in coach would kind of change the way he plays, and we saw a little bit of a spark there at the very beginning, but it's just not happening for him. Another issue that he's running into is that he just doesn't have the muscle to be able to control the ball when he's getting pressed. And so in situations like that, he's basically useless to the team. He can't hold the ball to be able to then turn and distribute. So it's just he's not putting it together. I don't see him doing it at this point. I think I'm pretty much giving up on him as well. And obviously he was in there tonight just because of the youth minutes. That's the only reason. I don't see another reason to have him. Yeah, he's no Fulgencio, Woodsy, for sure.
And that's what they mentioned at when he was being like subbed off. Like that was the only contributing factor.
Yeah.
So not sure if it's like confidence development or just lack of, I guess, coaching on him. But I feel like at this point, several coaches have had him and it hasn't worked out.
I also feel like he hasn't been like out by the touchline enough recently. Like I feel like he's drifting more, not centrally, but like kind of centrally, I guess. And I don't know. I feel like when he's like super out wide and he's given the liberty to like be able to cut in and use his footwork, he's better. And I haven't seen that in the last couple of games. A part of me thinks that's a coaching thing because I don't know. I feel like he's better when he like is able to isolate one-on-one or when he's got a fullback kind of running an underlap behind him and stuff. So
it's a system thing, then it's a formation thing. With five at the back, your two wing backs have to have that the two wings for themselves. So it kind of makes that midfielder tuck in. You have to tuck in to leave that room for them.
Yeah,
And so, yeah, he hasn't adapted, but at the same time, it almost feels like tonight he would have had that perfect opportunity because it's not like Angulo's going to step on his toes at all
right.
in a game like this, right? Angulo is not looking to reach the back line and make crosses. So either way, he had the freedom to roam tonight, and he still didn't make it happen. So I mean, I think he's kind of out of excuses, and the only thing left for him is maybe to go to Chivas and continue his career over there.
Bargain and chip.
Yep.
Never
Angulo with
know.
a quiet, good game out at the left wing back spot. I was a little surprised, knowing him that he's more defensive intended player. I really liked the movement and the traction that he created on the left side, which I thought that was the side that we sort of played more, even though Nando, lean right. Vladimir Loroña just doesn't convince me as a wing back, even though he had some good moments. I don't. It's almost like I can't really like point out too much bad things that he had during this game, but nothing spectacular either.
My one concern, I'm just kind of riffing at this point. Second half, we didn't get a shot off at all um, after the 70th minute. Not great.
Yeah,
Overall, the second half was just bad. Our shape got all we got out of shape. We just weren't making any connections. Just the team kind of didn't come out with the same intensity they had the first half. Feel like the subs didn't really contribute much. It just sort of fell apart for us. And I mean, it's kind of been the trend with Pizarro with this team. We're just a terrible road team. If you look at Pizarro, he's amazing at home, and then just terrible on the road. Uh, this season, we're at what 30 points. 21 of those points were at home.
yeah, that's all that's
So
sad to
we
me.
we only rescued 9 points on the road, man. And
Well,
so
how many games have we won? The only one that I can think of was the first game against San Luis.
Oh wow, that was a while ago. Yeah,
That was
yeah,
in January, dog.
yeah, there's been a lot of ties. Just not, and tonight it was a very winnable game, and we failed.
yeah.
Good night, Woodsy. Right, lads, I'm off back to bed. Have a good night. Big up, Dennis. I don't know though. The Texas Noel Gallagher.
Just racking up nicknames over the last few days. Um, Overall, though, Lou, how comfortable and Dennis, how do you guys feel about Romulo now being in that position? We talked about it like when he first arrived, and even sort of like we mentioned that we didn't know where his place was going to fit, especially when Guido took over, and then he got some minutes at the stopper, but now he's the sweeper. I think that's his permanent position moving forward. I know that we mentioned that when he first arrived that was a position that he played in Brazil, coming from Inter. Now I think he looks more comfortable. I know that you pointed out some errors there, but I think Aldo Farias mentioned something tonight on the broadcast that, he's the most agile player in the back line. So he definitely helps cover some ground back there.
I personally like him a lot there. Honestly, at the mistakes that we're seeing and the lack of coordination is just lack of playing time together. I think as they get more minutes together, they'll be more in sync. You could see it at times tonight where they just weren't in sync, not covering their spaces correctly, not moving as a group. But a lot of his deficiencies in his timing get fixed because he's so quick.
Yeah.
He's got elite speed, man. And so you get elite speed, great one-on-one defender, and then amazing in the air. So I think the upside is a lot more than any kind of coordination issues that he might be having right now at the moment.
Yeah. I'm curious what the playoff back line is going to be once everybody's back healthy. I know Purata has been the favorable player back there, but I'd like to see Linus, Aquino, Angulo, Schwarg, and Joaquim as the back
Yeah,
line.
I would love to see that too. I don't think he sits Linus, and I don't think he sits Angulo if they're both healthy. in my opinion.
Y'all are gonna make me start my Linus rant already. But
Well, what happened?
I'll say
You turned the tide on him?
I'll save that for the Clasico recap.
Wow, that quickly he had like two of the most amazing assists I've ever seen in his life or my life from him.
Yeah, I'll get to it later. I'll get to
Okay,
it later. Keep sleeping on Diego Reyes too. I'm kidding.
dude, he made an appearance
No.
tonight. He made an appearance on the camera. I was like,
Yeah,
wow, we even
he
get a Diego
traveled.
Reyes appearance.
Yeah,
I didn't even
surprising.
know if he was on the bench or just chilling, but we saw his face.
Oh, he was listed as a sub.
Dude, the immediate thought was like these are his last couple months with Tigres. There's no way he keeps himself out of respect and pride for himself. And I would hope that the club is like, thank you so much for whatever you contributed at any point, and help in that championship run, I guess. But not a player that needs to be on the bench for us.
Yeah, yeah.
He'll be part of the bargaining chips along with Flores.
Dude, that's what I'm looking forward to. I think that's what has made all this season has been enjoyable because from the get go, no expectations, and then as Guido Pizarro came at the helm, the games, even though we've had some bad moments here and there, like I still have like, hey, we don't have the player personnel that we would like, and I think that the change of or overhaul of some big changes is here, and that's what I'm looking for. Even though that we can sneak in there and cause some chaos and havoc and contend.
Oh, for sure. For sure.
Yeah. That'll be an interesting, especially what happens those first few weeks. Like kind of what happens with Club World Cup stuff and who goes where and how we kind of fit into that equation. Like after all that gets sorted out, it'll be really interesting. Player of the match. Suggestions? I'm going Nahuel because he had some big saves tonight.
At the end, yeah, he made it about him.
Yeah.
We could have cost us some points there.
Yeah.
I'm sticking with what Lou mentioned. I think Parra.
Parra,
Yeah.
it's a good shout.
I think physically he's gotten so much better. Like you can see he's more comfortable moving side to side and tracking back. And that assist or that potential assist that could have been to Nando. And there's a couple of switches that he did from one side to the other. He just looks confident. And I think Alfred, I saw it on the timeline, responded to you, Lou, that like he wouldn't mind seeing him, take over that Carioca position. And man, like if he continues to develop, and what better coach to develop him than Guido Pizarro, and being around like Carioca to get better and have that confidence instilled.
3 chances created tonight for Parra, man. From a holding mid, that's really, really good. 87% pass accuracy.
Love that.
I mean, it's for a kid, he reads the game really well, and he is an amazing passer, man. He knows how to put the ball right where it needs to be, and I think that's hard to teach, and he's done it so well in such short time. I think he hasn't had a lot of time to like be under Pizarro, but the minutes he's had, he's shown that he can do it.
And it works out great, Dennis. Like he could, he has to start again on Saturday, right? For the minutes.
Yeah.
We're what did we end up saying? 80
Almost 60. Yeah, almost 60 minutes.
58, I think.
So you have the flexibility to start him, have Carioca come in. It's you're a match at home. We've talked about the points that we've secured at home. Pumas tend to be good matches for us. Los hijitos de los Tigres. And, you go into that situation of the the semifinals on Tuesday where Parra can handle the majority of the minutes on the league. And then you have Rafa Carioca to start against Cruz Azul at home.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. That sets up so well. So thankfully that's the way that they handled it tonight with the minutes. I thought was really good. Like even taking Brunetta off earlier to have Ociel and Cordova on. Like I didn't hate that at all because Ociel still kind of helps with that a little bit, even though he didn't really do anything. So yeah,
he had like a good first 5 to 10 minutes of involvement, and then he disappeared.
Yeah.
I did like Cordoba though, even though nothing spectacular. He didn't really, create big chances. His energy was more displayed than like even before the Clasico. Obviously, when he helped us secure the win, I thought he wanted to be involved, and the energy was there.
Yeah, riding out the momentum for that.
That's the one dude that I feel like we can't lose, man. We gotta like. No, I don't mean lose like long term, like past this season. I mean like this season. We need to keep him focused, dialed in, because he's the one dude that can turn it on, man, and just give you that extra pass or that extra goal that you're gonna need in the big games. So he's an important key piece for this team, and I don't mean as a starter, but as a guy that could come in and be a super sub.
And it's not like we have a ton of options or attacking options on the bench, so we need him to
Yeah.
for what it's worth.
Yep, absolutely. Okay, can we stop talking about this game? Because
You didn't like this match,
I mean, it was fine. I've seen worse games.
dude? I honestly again
The first half, I enjoyed it.
we
The
had some
second half was
matches
brutal.
I'm trying to think what other match. The Puebla match was like very tough to watch.
Yeah.
And this was like totally opposite. Like, at no point where I was like, fuck, I want to turn the TV off or like, I want to do something else. I enjoy the momentums and the sequences. Like I said, I mean, obviously, and it's hard to point out too many bad things from it, but it just, we were content with the tie and we talked, and, I think that they uh, were relaxed with bringing back a tie and, not a loss.
Sure. All
Okay.
right,
Do
can
your
we
thing,
talk?
though.
All right, let's talk about Saturday. Woo wee! What a game! What a night!
There's still tears rolling down the street in Monterrey, in
Bro,
Guadalupe.
it
Probably,
hasn't stopped.
Is this still flooding over there?
probably, man. Well, I don't know. It's probably dried out by all the how bad the air is still down there. La pura alergia. Um, God,
Dude, you went viral.
why? That's what
What
I
did what
want
did
to
I
know.
what did I tell you, Dennis? Go do that vlog, bro. See?
Dude, I told you to be the new Vladimir for the States, and you're like, nah. And then out of
Dude,
nowhere, you decide to do it, and look at you.
Look
bruh,
at you, Dennis.
it was just spur of the moment. We were just waiting for the people to leave allá en Gallopa en General. And I was like, I'm gonna record this video real quick before we get out of here. And then all of a sudden, boop, 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 just
Bro, you
blowing up.
you up the production a little bit on that? Put a little more effort. 2,000 likes easily, bro. It's that
Who
sweet
did you go to
voice.
the match with?
With my aunt.
Your tia?
Yeah. Yeah. I used to go all the time with my grandpa, but he's at the age now that it's just really hard. Like he loves to go to games still, but he's like about to be 90 and it's like he walks really slow and it's
Dude,
a
good for
whole
him, though.
yeah. Yeah, I mean, he moves well for his age, and
That's
he like
awesome.
loves it. But when we went in October, um, when I went to go one against Pachuca of all teams, he came with me that night. Well, him and my grandma, and it was just a lot. Like he just like walking, like he walks well, but like it's just a long walk anywhere, like wherever you get dropped off, and so, um, yeah, it's just hard for him to go to games right now.
Yeah.
But anyway, um, I don't know. I mean, I have no questions to like ask. Really, it's just like what a night. I mean, I could talk about my experience all we want, but like I want to talk about the actual
Yeah,
tactics
no,
of the
but talk
game.
about your experience, bro. You were at the match, and I mean,
Yeah.
we got super hyped, obviously, at the end. Obviously, you were there. So, were you confident that we were going to come back? Based on the atmosphere.
I felt the moment that Berterame got the red card, I felt that we were at least going to walk away with something. Like instantly felt that. You could feel it in the crowd. I felt pretty down like after Ramos made the pen. I was like, this isn't going great. Like Lainez just ruined this game basically for being an idiot. And also he should have been pulled in the first half. Let me get my
Mhm.
Lainez rant out of the way. He was awful. And if you're gonna get a straight red in a Clasico, you shouldn't be playing for the next few weeks. I'm sorry. Like I know that the argument that you guys just made about him being in the best back line, I don't want to see it. No. Trash. You can't do that in a Clasico. You can't.
What?
Can't do it in a Clasico. That really bothers
I
me.
agree there though.
But anyway, so I was feeling a little down, but I mean, I've been to lots of Tigres games in my life, and I've been to a final. I was at the first leg in 2023 against Chivas. But that experience, that atmosphere Saturday was unbeatable. Like from the moment we walked in the stadium, people were already singing and stuff. Warm-ups were crazy. Like Libres were already there by the time warm-up started, and all the Rael songs were going, and it was epic, man. Like the mural que hicieron allá, like during the walkout, was super cool. It was loud the whole night, and then the goals. I mean, just the sort of like unified like spirit in the crowd, like after both goals, was really cool. There was almost a fight by me though, which is kind of weird. That's like between our people. It wasn't like a Tigres like fighting a Rayados. It was like two Tigres fans, like, you know, probably under lots of drinks, under the
Probably.
yeah.
Of course.
Good
So and
assumption there.
it was like, what are y'all doing? Like, just shut up and watch the game. Like, don't get in your feelings. But oh my gosh, I mean, just what an atmosphere, and third time's the charm, because been to 3 Clásicos, but 2 here in the States, and being down there Saturday, that was unbeatable. I said it in the video that I posted. That's probably the best atmosphere I've ever been in for a sport game. That and Game 1 of the World Series in 2023. Those are like the two, like off the top of my head. Alfred. First of all, Alfred, where are you at? Second of all, he's saying, what are you doing back home? Get back to Monterrey for Saturday's game. You gonna buy my plane ticket and my abono? Or my boleto for the game? I'll go back down there. No problem.
I'm gonna put myself to the test this time around. I'm going back on Tuesday, and I'm gonna go to this match.
The Cruz Azul match?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm gonna see if I have the Dennis.
The Dennis touch.
Sprinkle that magic.
Yeah, bro.
My one complaint about Saturday, and it's only because of where we were sitting, because we were sitting up in General. The concessions people never came to us, so my aunt was super pissed about not getting her beer, and I was super pissed about not getting a chicharrón until late into the second half. So,
first world problems, bro.
Yeah, no kidding.
But yeah, what a great experience. I'll never forget it.
Lou, going back to what you were talking about, they're still crying. I'm still coming across things on social media, and like you would think.
Hold on, I gotta say this one out loud. I don't know, those Saudi investment can fund your trip to Monterrey.
You got to give them the context, though, Dennis.
Yes, I don't know though. Was at a wedding on Friday? Two weddings for the same person, and there's a great picture of him. I actually saw it on Facebook before. You posted it earlier in the group thread.
Oh, nice! I didn't post that. Somebody else posted.
Your wife did, I think.
Oh wow!
Yeah, I can't remember, but okay. Anyway, so I saw it beforehand, and I didn't think too much of it because I was obviously down there. And then when you resent it, I was like, oh yeah, you definitely look like. Do you care if I show it?
Yeah, no, I don't care.
Because it's pretty great stuff. So we were chat listeners. We were cracking up about this.
My man drives around a gold-plated Bentley.
The point was to be, I was wearing a Nigerian outfit, to give more context. My friend, he had on Friday he had a Nigerian wedding, and then Sunday we had the American wedding, and we had to wear the glasses, like that was like apparently mandatory the whole night. So I was rocking glasses and drinking. So it was not the best combination, in terms of eyesight, but it was a great wedding. And the running joke the entire night was, how much money was I willing to drop on things, and all the nicknames that I got throughout the night. So it was cool. Great time though.
Already adding to your super mega list of nicknames.
Yeah, no kidding.
From previous times.
Never stops. But yeah, we can get something going. We can see if we can get you to make that GoFundMe a reality for you.
Let's do it.
Oh my goodness. All right, let's talk about the game.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, the first half, it was it was tense, right? It wasn't too tense though. We were slow. We got lucky a few times because we easily could have been down because of mistakes they were making, especially coming out of the back. I just felt like a lot of our passes weren't hit with enough pace, and so that you know, specifically Linus and Purata a couple times and Joaquim, just really weird. And I also didn't like how we were just trying to long ball and just beat them, beat their high line for a good part of the first half. I didn't understand that tactic because they were doing a good job of nullifying that. I don't know. It was frustrating, and you could feel the tension in the air, at least in the stadium. I don't know how it felt through the TV, but the first half was not odd, but it was very like there was something brewing, and then obviously the second half exploded. But um, not a drag, but it was in a very intriguing first half, I would say.
Yeah, I think what didn't really help our cause though is they were running on emotions as well. Their boy Sergio Canales, breaking down windows like if it was a business or something. He missed out on their game, so I think it was an emotional like momentum that Rayados was putting on, and I think they had some good moments there. And like you said, we got lucky on a few times, but I don't think we played necessarily bad. I think it's sort of like a match that you don't want to lose, so we were slightly conservative, and like you said, some of the things that we were typically that we would do with creating better passes and finding our players on the attacking side wasn't happening. But I think that Monterrey also had its part there, which is crazy to even like drive the narrative that we didn't play that well and they played better, that I saw throughout some of the media locally and then nationally in Mexico. But ultimately, I think that that's what helped Monterrey. And, it was just a matter of time, with things happening at home, like the red card and, the second red card that they got. And obviously after the Cordova goal, like those moments created a bigger shift in momentum for us to capitalize on those things. But we were playing Tuca ball. Yeah, I totally agree. So I don't know what you think, Lou, but I think that they were just riding a momentum aspect, and I don't think really they were. I don't think they're a very good team overall, and it's been demonstrated the entire season.
Yeah, I'm with you on the emotional aspect of it for sure. You could see it at the end of the game with their reactions, the way they went to go provoke Guido Pizarro, chasing after him. When they were exiting the field, the fans all started chanting "Palo, palo, palo, palito, palo, eh."
Yeah.
And dude, you
Thanks.
could just see it in their faces, bro. That was burning, man. Like you could see the rage, like with a lot of their players as they were exiting the tunnel, how angry they looked. Because it's a game they wanted, right? For many
We
reasons,
needed
not
it.
just the rival. They needed that game, and for multiple reasons, and to not to fail, I think was a deep blow for them. And then their coach was coming out too, and he was like pointing at the crowd, really angry. So definitely, I'm with you there. I think they were emotionally charged, and a lot of that was that momentum carrying them. I was disappointed in the way we played in the first half. This is a team that I think is going to depend a lot on our wing play, our wing backs in particular. If in games the wing backs don't give you anything offensively, in other words, if they can't join the middle third and the final third, then it's going to cause teams to overload the middle third and then give us a giant headache, which is what happened in this game. They had more numbers in the middle, and so they're able to control the pace, they're able to control possession, and we didn't have to absorb a lot of pressure. It's not like they were like taking a ton of shots on goal or anything, but what's disappointing is that we didn't get much out of that first half. There was that one shot Brunetta took like early in the game. I think I want to say like 4 or 5 minutes in, they hit the
They hit the
crossbar.
bar. Yeah.
Yeah, I hit the bar, hit the crossbar, and then there was one more later on towards the end of that first half, and that was it.
Yeah, the
And
Joaquim shot from like 20 yards out.
yeah, and that was it. There was nothing else that first half because Aquino and Lainez didn't do anything up top. They didn't do anything to join on the attack. So now you're trying to inflict damage on the opponent with just Guido Pizarro and Bruneta and maybe Gorreran. It's just not enough numbers to be able to put some good pressure on the opponent. But this team, like I came out of that game really positive because that's what championship teams do. When they're up against the ropes, right? Now in the second half, you're really up against the ropes, right? You're down a man, you're down a goal. That's when they started playing their best. And to me, that's the positive out of this game is that this team doesn't quit. This team is gritty, and this team knows when to step it up. And I think that's what characterized the Tuca era is teams knowing when to pick their moments. Like tonight, they tied. But rest assured, when they're back at home, they're gonna go after Pumas, and so this team is making me very confident for what lies ahead. I'm not interested in the regular season. What I want to see is how we perform
To
when
the end.
when it's on the line. So that to me was the positive is that they scored and immediately we came roaring back, and we actually looked more dangerous with 10 man than with 11. And so to me, that just kind of shows you that the players are, they're gonna fight for a cup.
I think it helped too that I personally liked that Romulo stepped in as the sole like defensive midfielder when we had to go to 10 men, when he had to switch up the back line. He was just kind of sitting in front of the back four. I personally enjoyed that because I thought he was making good passes. He was getting a lot of space to do stuff. And especially once we had a man advantage again when it was 10v9, I thought he did a really good job of just kind of slowing the game down at certain points, but also picking out the right passes in the right spaces as well.
Yeah, I thought that he helped a ton, and it showed obviously towards the end with that goal. He covers like we talked about at the end of this match tonight. He covers so much ground that Joaquim is now, it's interesting. Even though he's had some, let's call it bad moments as of recent, but also great moments as well, he has turned it 180 in my opinion, in terms of coming out of the back. Like, when he first arrived, we were talking about like he's not really good with his feet, and we saw it in that match, obviously, launching out of the back, and some of it in moments in this match. Like he's gotten a ton better at coming out of the back, and having a guy like Romulo in there to, like you're mentioning, covering the midfield does help because it gives you that player to player confidence, because you have someone that can cover you when pushing up. But that's something to also highlight. I mean, if it wasn't for him, getting better throughout each match that has gone by, even with some mistakes, he's gotten much better, and it's great to see as a defender that came in great in the air, physically imposing, and now also showing some offensive buildup out of the back.
Yep.
Did y'all feel the same way that I did when the first red card for them happened, that we were going to get something out of this game?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Wow.
Rayado fans are asking for Berterame to get investigated because he might be
Infiltrado.
betting, bro. Like they're saying he might be betting. I saw a video today that like, quiero que investiguen a Berterame. No lo seguro. I'm not confirming it, but I think he needs to be investigated for player betting and match fixing. And I'm like, bro, come on. Like the guy has scored. If anything, the guy has done, the little things that you guys have accomplished. He's been a part of it with his goal scoring. So not a good call there. But yeah, I'm with you, dude. I think that at that point, like, you needed something like that in order to turn it around. And that red card definitely lifted spirits. And, Nando Correran, after the first goal scored, like, you can read his lips and, him emphasizing, let's go win it, because you need emotional sparks, and a red card does that for you.
And he's the perfect captain for those types of games. I know that we've got this like rotating thing between him and Angulo and Brunetta, but like that's the one where Gori should be wearing the armband and leading the team like that. And like you mentioned, like after the first goal, like the urgency to like get after it and get back in position and try to go chase that second goal. That was all him. I don't know if the other two guys necessarily do that, to be honest with you.
Quick note though, have they actually rotated? I feel like Nando has been the more consistent one though.
Angulo started out as being the guy
right. Yeah.
at the
Okay.
beginning.
Right.
And Brunetta, I think, has had 1 or 2 games, but it has been Nando more recently.
Yeah. I mean, I think he's the true captain. Like,
I agree.
With everything he's demonstrated since he's arrived. That was the one thing you couldn't question: his effort and his heart. And I think that, like we talked about, you don't need the old guys necessarily being the captains on the field because they're already leaders. And so a guy like him, I think it's the perfect, generational transitional change that you want. And he's an inspiring factor in the lineup.
Exactly. As I mentioned on Twitter the other day, thank you, Berterame, for your service. Even if you were match fixing or not, thank you for your
El
service.
infiltrado.
Thank you for your service to society on Saturday.
What do you guys think about like the suspension and the aftermatch things that went on?
Oh yeah. I'm kind of glad Guido only got 3. I kind of thought it was going to be worse because they really like to take a beating on us with that stuff sometimes.
How many matches did you think it was going to be when it happened?
I thought it was going to be 5 or 6.
Dude, I thought it was going to be like 10.
10, yeah.
Hitting somebody.
Yeah. I thought they were going to give him 10.
But I think what helped his case is that, I mean, and we were yelling at it up in our section. Like, the Rayados coaching staff was literally in our technical area.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah.
Like, that's against the rules, right? Like, you can't freaking do that. Like, get out of the technical area.
Well, and it's not just going into the technical area. They went in there with the purpose.
Exactly. So I'm surprised that, well, I guess I'm not surprised. They are, they share their stadium is named after the league. But I am a little surprised that their coaching staff didn't get a little bit more punishment too. But I mean, it is what it is. It's funny that Guignac, I don't think, got anything, at least from what I saw initially so far.
For what though? There was nothing there.
Yeah, I mean,
there was nothing there. I mean, Carlos Salcedo was around too, and I mean,
yeah,
dude. If that picture hadn't circulated online, I would have forgotten that he was with them.
Same, bro. Yeah.
Another infiltrado, bro.
And he's
collecting that money, bro.
Bro, and Ramos is like partially there because of Salcedo being hurt. So
yeah, truthfully, I mean, if anything, that's the one contributing thing Salcedo did for them is his injury made Sergio Ramos arrive at Monterrey.
Yeah. That the second red card, I mean, did Torres only get 1 game for that?
Yeah.
I mean,
dude, they're gonna be depleted tomorrow against America. I hope America stomps on them.
Oh yeah, dude. Yeah. I hope so too.
Yeah, they're toast. But why is he only getting 1 game, man? Home. That is a dirty, super up high tackle. I mean, from the moment that it happened, everybody knew that he was gone. And that's when the momentum really shifted in the stadium. There was definitely a shift when Berterame got sent off. But once all that stuff happened with Torres and then obviously all the crap in the tunnel and all that, I mean, the stadium was on fire. Not literally, but figuratively. The crowd was very, very into it, and it got super loud. So that was really cool. Which goal did you guys enjoy more? Did you guys enjoy well, I think I know Lou's answer, but yeah. I don't know that this is for you really. Did you enjoy Cordova's goal more? Did you enjoy Lou Ibanez's goal more?
No, Nico Ibanez, bro. Did you see that the ball that Nando crosses?
The ball was great, but Joaquim starting that and just driving.
Yeah, and that's what I was saying like earlier. Like he's gotten so much better at that and like moving forward with the ball, but it was such a perfect timing of like the pass from Joaquim because he was stumbling already because he had too much momentum, and he in the way that he flicks the ball over to the right, and then you see him like take off, straight into the box like he was going to be a striker in there. But the beauty of a cross by Nando, and after seeing the replay so many times that night, and watching that goal over and over, like you knew that goal that was coming. And I saw a video also that I came across on TikTok, a fan perspective, and you can hear the guy as it's happening. Ahí viene el gol on that play, and the cross was beautiful. Nico Ibanez, like that's what he was known for at Pachuca, just electrifying in the air and finding the balls. And we've known that he's got a great header, but it was just a fantastic. The thing with Cordoba's goal, I was excited obviously because we needed that. But I mean, Nico Ibanez taking off his shirt, knowing that he was going to get a yellow, knowing you got you're winning the match, like, and sticking it to their face, fantastic moment.
I assume you agree with all of that, Lou.
Absolutely, man.
His twin brother.
It obviously it's not the same kind of moment, but it kind of reminded me of Dueñas' goal in that final, that Christmas final against America, where they all went to that corner of the field and they're all like jumping on each other and just the crowd going crazy. I mean, it was fantastic goal, man. I mean, it was just a dagger right there.
Yeah.
If anything, Dennis, I was surprised we scored on that set piece because we are terrible at set pieces. I watched so many crosses tonight from corner kicks or even like, free kicks. I don't understand it. So many technical players on the field. So for that goal to have gone in, like if anything, I was a little bit more surprised.
Well, it also probably helped that the bozo of the keeper that they have totally misread that, because maybe some of those other keepers get to that.
I'll say this about Arnoldo's comment, Dennis. We were at 1.06 tonight on the XG on set pieces. So that what that tells me is that Guido is actually drawing up some good plays. The problem is just we're failing in the execution. Like we're just not
100%.
we're not sharp enough on. We're just not getting enough air underneath that ball. The ball is too low into the box. But if we start to execute that, dude, we're gonna be dangerous because we're actually getting to the right spots on the pitch to be able to make a decent cross. It's just the boys are not completing that part. And I think if
Right.
they ever sharpen up, dude, we're gonna be lethal right there.
Dude, especially with the options you got in the air. You got Joaquin, you got
Purata.
Nico, Purata, Romulo now. I mean, you just have Ociel, you have the attacking options in the air. So, yeah, I'm with you, Lou. I think there's a couple of things like there to fix because even like when Brunetta, it's like, dude, Brunetta has one of the better touches on the field for our team. Cordova, and they're not getting enough air on those crosses.
Yeah.
I don't know if y'all noticed this on the replay. I noticed this in real time. I was kind of worried for a split second that Brunetta was going to run into Cordova, because you kind of see him like have
Yeah.
to shift a little bit like instantly in order to make that happen. Because I think if they collided there, I mean, it would have been toast. There was no way we would have been able to score that. So good on good on Brunetta for using his reflexes to avoid a disaster there. Tigre Místico saying saludos, guys.
Saludos, bro.
Saludos, Tigre Místico.
What do you guys think about, after that Clasico match? And I've seen it. We saw it last season, a little bit of the season before that, but even more so after this match. There's sort of a driving now, like hype behind the match with the media. It's almost like, it to me it's a little fake because I know they're doing it for the clicks and for the ratings that now Tigres brings to the table, and obviously Rayados with some of their signings. But it just seems like it's like, dude, this has been going on for a while. Like I know that, there was a series of matches there that we weren't having the best results in terms of like, ugly ties as you can call, but the passion has always been there and the talent has always been there. But I saw a lot of like, hey, this match is becoming better than the Clásico Nacional. So they're hyping it up, and I think that Tigres has a lot to do with it.
I'm trying to formulate my thoughts. Lou, think of something.
Come on, Dennis. That wheel's gonna turn quicker, bro. We're live, my man.
Bro, I'm running on 2 hours of sleep because shout out American Airlines for delaying the flight for like 2 hours today when I came
Oh,
back
you
home.
landed today.
Bro, they had to fix a dent on the plane. I was supposed to leave Monterrey at 7:30 Monterrey time. We didn't leave till like almost 9:30.
Jeez.
So, I mean, and I had to wake up at 4:30 to get to the airport or 5 or whatever. Me estoy poniendo loco.
Get them wheels turning, bro. I don't know. I don't know if you caught any of that, Lou, but that was something that I was like after the match, and like that's what the Clasico needs. All that polemica, the red cards, players like
Yeah, I saw that.
and then coming back from a result from coming back from behind. And I was like, dude, this has been the Clasico since I've been a kid.
Yeah.
They're just catching up.
You get the sense that a lot of these cats either never went to Monterrey and never got to like actually live the weekend over there, the entire weekend of what it's like. And so now they go for the first time and they start saying this. I mean, to me, it's like, dude, since the '90s, bro. I mean, even when both teams weren't any good, it was the most, the Clásico with the most passion. And so I don't know. It's just weird that now they're trying to. It's like you said. I think they're trying to ride the popularity. They're trying to attach themselves to the brand in some way, to be able to ride the hype.
I mean, I would as well with what Chivas does and Pumas does in terms of producing results.
Yep.
Gotta find some ratings elsewhere.
No kidding. Man of the match from Saturday.
Man,
There's a
that's
couple
tough, man.
candidates, man.
Man,
Nico,
I think
Bru,
I'm gonna go.
Borri.
I think I'm just gonna go with Nico, and solely for he demonstrated again tonight, and Aldo Farias emphasized it as I was watching that broadcast. He is having fun again, and that goal against Rayados, like that's a big moment, and he's never gonna be Andre Pierre. He's never going to be that forward that is going to create his own goals and create shots from outside the box. But he can be a very productive player for us with surrounding talent against them, and the possibility of a player like, I know it's still a long ways if it actually does happen, Angel Correa coming on, and you continue to bring talent, maybe in the back and in a winger possibly. I think that to me, he's just been playing at a much better level, even though his goal production hasn't been there in terms of like high amount of goals. So obviously Nando having a great assist there. I saw offers coming of Joaquin, having a great match as well. But I think Nico Ibanez, to me, that was a big moment that he hadn't had yet as a Tigre, and I think it was well deserving for me. Gives you the winning goal to be the man of the match.
I'm gonna go with Brunetta. I thought he was very active. Um, like I said, we didn't have a stellar first half, but I thought Brunetta was pretty involved throughout the match and a key piece, I think, in Pizarro's system. Um, Created three chances on Saturday night. So hit he was like what 3 inches away from a golazo, which I think would have been amazing. So I mean, I think he was just really awesome. He's been so good under Pizarro, man. He's been a different kind of beast under Pizarro, which is really promising. Another thing I'll say about this team, and I'm really eager to see what this team's going to look like once we insert Gignac into this lineup, because I think Pizarro's going to put him where Flores played tonight, and I think it's just going to be a special one. I think it's going to be a special close to Gignac's career with the way Bruneta's playing, with the way Gorriaran's playing, with the consistency we've gotten out of Carioca, and now this new kid that's playing amazing, Parra, that's doing really well. This new system that's just kind of working together, and then Nico also going back to his old self. I think it's gonna be a special close. I'm just like really eager to see it. I was thinking about that tonight. I was like, man, what if we would have had Gignac instead of Flores tonight? What that game would have looked like, and I think it's gonna be special just because Gignac is gonna tie up so many defenders just because of who he is.
And he's smarter, and he's got
Better crosses.
Yeah, like there's touch, the passing, the creativity. Like there's gonna be more connections. I see where you're headed with it.
And I think to that point, I'm glad you brought that up. The interesting thing about his return now is that he's coming in at a point in the season where everything is so high stakes. So, like, I don't know what the current timeline is for his return. Apparently, people in Monterrey were saying like another 2 or 3 weeks from now. So let's say
Well,
second leg of Cruz
Pizarro,
Azul.
like a week and a half ago, said a week and a half ago. So I think he's almost ready, dude. I
Okay.
don't think he's gonna play. He's not gonna play against Pumas, obviously, but I think he's gonna be ready for against Cruz Azul.
Okay. I would not be surprised if he's back for the second leg at all. And maybe even the first leg, which I think that's interesting, like to bring in that, that type of guy in these huge games now for that, and then also for whatever Liguilla games we end up playing. I think that's a huge like morale boost to the team. Not that we're like low on morale, but like to have, the greatest player in Tigres history, arguably, like come back into this team.
Not
That's
arguably.
that's just like waiting to kind of pop.
And add on a top 5 player in the history of the league. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, it's just
Even at 39 years old.
It's a presence, bro. It's a total, like, it's just an alpha, like, stepping onto the field. The cool thing though that I want to add to that is that even though I think that he could be so useful, going to what Lou's pointing out, I think it's also really cool to see that we haven't like missed him per se. You know what I mean? Like we've had good moments without him. And I think that, him being out and being hurt and injured, obviously he knows his body better than anybody. And he knows how much, mentality wise and how much it takes to be healthy. And I think he now he understands the cautious aspect of what he needs to be. But, obviously having him a presence on the bench coming in for, 15 to 20 minutes to close out a game is going to be fantastic.
Tigre Místico saying, Nico's header was Ronaldo like. Nico Ibanez with Michael Jordan hang time.
Yeah.
There you go.
And not only that, not only the leap he took, but where he placed it. Perfectly placed, bottom left corner.
Yeah, right.
I mean, the goalkeeper couldn't reach it. It was amazing placement.
Well,
my man still having after effects of the laser from last season.
Not that
Lost
Andrade was getting to it anyway. Alfred saying, I love Gignac, but given his prolonged inactivity, I would not bring him back 100% for Cruz Azul. He's definitely not starting. He's definitely not starting. But
I honestly don't see him unless if we make it to the final. I think that's when we'll probably see him in the CONCACAF and more so the quarters, if anything, of the regular season or the Liguilla.
Okay.
I think that's more realistic.
Yeah. Because we, like, after Saturday, we'll have, like, a week and a half until Liguilla, or 2 weeks. There's, like, a long break where it's just the CONCACAF games. So, very curious to see how that shakes out. Any more Saturday thoughts?
No, just like Lou said, the rivers of Babylon of all the tears are still flowing.
Let me tell you, I didn't see a single Rayado shirt out in the streets on Sunday, and plenty more Tigre shirts.
Dude, now that I've been going, back and forth a lot to open this business, it's I've noticed more and more that Tigre is the bigger presence for sure. And, obviously growing up as a kid, you'd always think it was 50-50, and, through the accolades that we accomplished of all those championships, if I were to count, and I'm going to do this next time when I go next week, I'm going to count the jerseys that I see daily and compare them, but I'm very confident that I'm going to see more Tigres jerseys.
I actually do that when I travel, dude.
Really?
I do. Yeah.
Love that.
Yeah. And normally it tends to be like 65,
Yeah, I could see
65
that.
us. Yeah. And what I'm noticing a lot is, and because I'm not from Monterrey, I'm from, the ranchos, So I travel kind of the Nuevo León non-metro areas, let's just say that. And like I'm seeing it a lot more. Like, yeah, when I was a kid it was 50-50. But now that I'm driving around and seeing it, dude, it's Tigres is just dominating, bro. And as I travel other parts of Mexico too, I'm seeing more. You used to not see any Tigres jerseys in Mexico City, bro. And now you go to Mexico City and you do catch them, and it's like the brand is growing.
What do I always say, boys?
You're big.
When
You're
you're
big.
big, you're big.
Dude, you got
Speaking
to
of
patent that, Dennis.
speaking of when you're big, you're big. I did appreciate, even though it was a funny moment, I did appreciate the kind of clout we got from Nahued and his penalty antics on Ramos, even though that was a whole clown show.
Dude, I was like so pushing for him to stop that. That would have been such a great moment, like if he would have stopped that.
Everybody around me was so stressed out. ¿Qué estás haciendo, güey? Volteate! Just like super worried. They're like, what is he doing? Why would you try it?
I mean, he's a big advocate that the rules have shifted to favor
Yeah.
the kick taker, and I think at this point it's like obviously he's still an elite goalkeeper in terms of saving penalties, but with all those rules favoring the kick taker, he's got to try whatever he can,
Yeah.
and I think he's constantly thinking about that because he knows he's more of at a disadvantage than he was 4 or 5 years ago.
He's
Yeah,
the last of a
absolutely.
dying breed. Like, not very many keepers in the world do anything like that, really, at least to the level that he does. And the ones that do are all Argentine. So,
Yeah.
kudos to him. That was a funny moment, I will say, in the midst of all that.
And shout out to him for wearing the third jersey. I love when he wears
it looked good. Yeah.
Yeah, I love when he wears like the player jersey. He's done it with the baby blue jersey a while back, a couple seasons ago. Done it with the black one, the Batman, I think, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I love when he does that.
Pretty soon, I think we'll see him in an Earth Day kit because I think those are about to drop in the next week or so. So, gotta add to the count. La cuenta.
Dude, I got suckered in this almost 10 days ago. So I got this one now. I got this other cup. And I told you guys, so if you spend over 2,000 pesos, they were giving you a polo. The polo's pretty nice. It's Adidas polo.
I saw it. I saw some guy wearing it at the game on Saturday. It looked really nice.
My uncle asked for me to buy, since I was down there, for his wife a jersey. So I got me the hat with the little it has they've made it like the MLB hats where it says Tigres in the back and it's got the logo and then it's got like splatter of white on here with baby blue.
Yeah, that's a nice hat.
Yeah, I got that. So I was able to rack up 2 polos. So I got me a polo and I got my dad a free polo as well. So
Nice.
it was pretty cool. So the account goes up, even though some of them were my expenses. They're my uncle's.
You're associated with them. It's on your credit card statement.
Oh yeah.
Some
Yeah.
guy at
Yeah.
when I was eating tacos yesterday, some guy gave me a little
Ooh,
this
nice.
sticker. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And then also he's in Libres y Locos, so he also gave me one of these too. So he was showing me videos of where he was sitting on Saturday in the section. Tigre Mexico saying it felt like El Clasico 131 in the final versus Chivas. Tigres coming back from behind to win the game in the final minutes. Yeah. And as you said as well, a lo Tigre.
A lo Tigre.
Really briefly, femenil, man. Bruh. Yesterday,
Bro, why you got to bring the mood down,
bro. I
Yeah,
mean,
bro.
bro, that game was awful yesterday. I mean, they couldn't even string together 3 passes.
I didn't watch it, to be quite honest with you, but I saw a lot of negative comments throughout the day
It was
and
it
after
was
the
not
match.
good. It was not good.
Yeah, bro.
I can't even tell you exactly what I think. I think that maybe the players are burned out, like mentally, and even with the coaching change, he had some good moments at the beginning, but I think they're just mentally burned out, and they have so much pressure as well to internal pressure to perform and do great, that I think that also gets to them. And there's some little things that that could be fixed immediately. Sometimes I feel like they don't get the play called against them, and they sort of stop play, and they just think that they can get away with anything because of the reputation that they have. So I think it's a lot of mental issue. I think that coaching wise, I don't think it's necessarily the bad thing, even though he's made some things that have been questionable. But I think it's more mental on the player side.
I only watched the second half, but I just didn't enjoy anything that was going on. Like just losing the ball really quickly. Ovaya was getting like quadruple teamed and just couldn't find the open spots, the open teammates. Um,
I think that might be her last season with us, or this might be her last season with us.
makes a big move.
Yeah, I mean, she got interviewed and she talked about it, and then that same reporter sort of hinted at it, or someone hinted at it from the ones that leaked the information that are typically on top of their stuff. There's a couple of guys that leak moves, and he sort of hinted at the fact that it's actually coming this time around, but who knows?
Okay.
If anything, I think it's the perfect moment based on the moment that the team is currently going through. I think it's definitely a good time for her personally to move on to bigger and better things.
Well, excuse me. Let's send her off with something. I don't
That's
care
gonna be the
what.
challenging part,
Yep.
and it's looking like we might face Rayadas first round.
Yeah. Yeah, that's tough.
Which we've had their number, but
Yeah,
except in the game that really mattered.
Yeah. Yeah. We'll see. Okay, let's end it with a little uh preview prediction of Pumas on Saturday. Um I think we win because we're at home. I do think it'll be kind of an exciting game. As you mentioned earlier, they always like to get up for us, and especially when it's at El Volcan, it's always like a really interesting game. 3-2.
Wow, 2 goals given up.
Yeah.
I was going more on the 2-0 side. I think it's a good match for Nahuel to add another shutout to his record.
Same here, 2-0. I think we control the match and we score.
Okay.
I'd like to see a Brunetta goal, and I'd like to see a shot from outside the box. He's been on it.
I thought I had an ambitious prediction. Alfred saying 4-1.
I wouldn't be surprised by that, but I think that there's some still things that need to be worked on, and depending on the lineup, especially with the youth minutes mix up there, I think that could also get in the way of some things.
I think the second half will be electric because I do imagine that the first half, because we have to keep Para in and a couple of the other young guys, that it may be a little bit of not a drag, but it'll be like a slower pace sort of game. I don't know.
I think the one thing though that I definitely want to see is I definitely do not want to see Marcelo, and I would like to see either Ociel or Antuna get the start at that position.
Okay. We tied Pumas 0-0 with our C team. Was that last season?
No, that he's talking
That was
about
here in Austin.
Oh,
The
yeah,
Austin
yeah.
friendly.
Oh, yeah. Yes. Versus Pumas, we win 3 points and we close the regular season happy and satisfied.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
That would put us at 33 points.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and we're waiting on the result of León Cruz Azul, which they're playing right now. They're in the they're at halftime.
Yeah.
Heroes?
0-0.
Okay. Our 18 with Barra can beat the Pumas.
Yeah, I don't doubt that at all. I mean,
I don't either.
I don't doubt the positive result.
Yeah. Just
I,
how
I,
much of it.
I think what I'm looking for is a good ending to the season with a good performance, like Lou said, like a dominating performance with possession, chances created, some a great goal of either a fantastic individual play or a great build up as a team.
And no errors in the back line is what I
Yeah.
want to see. No more
Yep.
passing goof ups.
I agree. I did see. This is a random thing. I did see a lot of fake goalie kits out in the streets at the game on Saturday. The new one, the black and green one, and a lot of next year's home kit, the fake ones, also out as well. So
And they do look fake, don't they?
yeah,
Like they look a little cheap.
yeah. Some of them do look pretty close, but some of them do look like very fake. It's la tela, bro.
Yeah.
They get all the stuff right, but it's la tela that gives it away. If it looks cheaply made.
Hey, I'll say this as my last comment. The tifo that they did pregame against Rayados was awesome. And then the official Tigres account did like a drone shot of it coming into the stadium from the top. If you haven't seen it, check it out. It looked amazing. Crowd was like chanting, and then you could see the entire. Do they call it a tifo? I don't know what they call that. It's
Yeah,
I think
but it was
this
amazing.
It was a mural. I think that's what
Okay.
or mural. I think that's what they called this one. This is the picture that I got from it. From where I was sitting, it looked incredible from where we were.
The video. I think Tab Ramos also quote tweets it.
Yeah, today. Yeah.
That was a spectacular view, and I think the vlog came out. I started watching it. I'm pretty sure it was a vlog.
Hey, have you guys noticed that the official Tigres English account has not posted anything in a couple days?
Yeah, what is going on there?
Dude, I don't know.
Are we carrying the load again? Because I mean, before the Clasico, they were like radio silent for like a week, and then they like kind of came back for the game. And then did they even tweet anything out tonight or yesterday for the Feminine game? I don't think they did.
It's time to send Double O Nation's resume.
Yep, I agree. My boy would kill it.
Yeah, no kidding.
He'd be on that 25-8, not even 24/7, dog. 25-8. Even Alfred's saying it. They're lacking on the English side again.
Yeah, we know, Alfred. You make up for like all the lacking spaces that Tigres has online.
I think what happened is that Alfred probably bullied them into silence, bro.
Alfred's been bullying everybody online for the
CM
last
is probably like in a closet in the fetal position crying, bro, eating Chips Ahoy. Super depressed.
You know, the best thing about it though is like he's completely gone berserk, and he used to be tweeting from his personal account like when it was like sort of negative, and now he's like
he doesn't care no more, dude.
Tigres takes is coming in.
Le vale, bro. He don't care.
Oh man, Alfred, one of a kind for sure.
That is great stuff. All right, wrap it up.
Yeah,
Get out of here. Cool.
For sure. Thanks for hosting, Dennis.
Oh gosh, never again.
Great.
Please.
No, I think I'm definitely okay with. You ever seen Blue Mountain State?
No.
Okay. There's a character in there, and his name is Alex Moran. He was the backup quarterback, and he enjoyed riding the bench because he never had to play. He just had to party and hang out. So I think I like the Alex Moran treatment. I think I enjoy more.
Well, in that case, where was your Chavez at?
Dennis, I think we've been putting this wrong way. QB1, QB2. No, this isn't like in basketball terms, bro. You just turned into the point guard, and now Arnoldo's the shooting guard, bro. You just assisting to him. He dunks it, takes some good shots.
Yeah.
He's Kobe Bryant, bro. You're whoever the point guard was around back then.
Okay, but basketball doesn't exist. So At least to me. Like, why are we talking about that sport? That sport doesn't exist.
Dude, just because the Mavs screwed your life over forever doesn't mean that basketball has stopped.
No, it's definitely stopped, especially after the nonsense that came out today from the GM again.
Yeah.
Dennis is the Mick Foles of La U Times, gonna take us to the Super Bowl. That's
Oh
crazy.
boy.
Dude, I made a chat GBT assistant that is the biggest Tigres fan to make her post tweets in Tigres English official. LOL. I want to see that, actually. Let's see that.
Where are you watching us from, Tigre Místico? Are you in Monterrey? And if so, what area of Monterrey?
Yeah, let us know. And
Um,
anybody else who's watching right now.
Yeah, but yeah, I like this position better. I'm set up more for bigger contribution on the court.
Yeah. No
Yeah, Dennis. Yeah, bro.
Do it,
No,
bro.
no
And
manches, bro.
Yeah, I just need you to come in with proper sleep, no yawning during the podcast, bro, and then just sharp, you know. Distribute quickly, bro. Boom.
You're asking too much from me.
Coach Popovich or Lou Popovich stepping in, bro. He's got to coach you up.
I gotta coach you up, bro.
Oh man.
Sanico,
Oh,
West Illinois.
Sanico.
Nice.
Shout out to you,
Nice.
Tigre Místico. Thank you for coming on the show. We appreciate you.
Heck yeah. All right. Vámonos.
Yeah, let's do it. Time to
Vámonos.
sleep. Got to get back at it tomorrow.
All right. Thanks for watching, everybody. Everybody who watched our post-game show tonight. If you're listening on podcast later, thanks for watching as well. Don't forget to follow us wherever we are. Shout out Prepa 7 Oriente.
Love that.
LOL. Follow the official account at La U Times on Twitter, on Instagram, on TikTok, on YouTube, all the things. And you can follow Lou at Tigres_English and the rest of our crew at all the other handles and stuff that I'll leave in the show notes when I post the podcast version of this tomorrow.
Tigres Takes, Double Nation,
Yeah.
Dennis Sweet Voice Gartman.
Oh gosh. We'll be back, I imagine, next week. I would hope that we're back Monday or Tuesday of next week previewing the semifinal first leg against Cruz Azul in
Yeah, we got to prep a nice show for next Monday. It's the regular season. We got to come up with some awards for the regular season.
Yes.
ending. And
Superlatives.
yeah, and then lead up into the preview of the Cruz Azul match at home.
Yeah, we need to win that competition, man. I'm just gonna say it now. We need to win it. I know we talked about no expectations, but I have expectations now.
No, I think there's expectations now, especially with what came about for our season.
Yeah.
I don't think we can get totally upset if we get eliminated or anything happens negatively, because it's still a transitional phase, and you have players that could be upgraded at different positions on the field and the bench.
Right.
But I think there's an expectation. I think that the team is lined up to compete, and like I said earlier, we can sneak in there and create some chaos, especially with some of the teams falling off at the wrong time. And the way that we play, a couple minutes, couple shots like we've had recently from outside the box, like can get you a victory anytime. So I think the level of expectation has risen a little bit, for sure.
Playing with house money, baby. Let's go.
Yeah, there we go, Lou.
That's right. That's right. All right. We'll talk to you guys next week. Hit up Arnoldo if you need to come on the show, or if you want to come on the show, as we always offer.
Or hit up you, the famous viral guy.
Whatever.
The producer.
Will somebody get a hold of Tigres, the club, so that we can send Edgar's resume over to them for the account? That's not a joke. We need to actually do that. All right. Arriba, we'll see y'all next time. Ciao for now.
Peace.